Hi, welcome to our channel of IGNOU audiobooks, Indira Gandhi National Open University, School of Social Work, SOSW, Certificate in Tribal Studies, CTRBS, BSW 04 to Tribal Society, Block 1 Introduction to Tribal Society and Culture, Unit 1 Tribal Social Systems, 1.0 Objectives. Tribal social systems is one of the important areas to understand the institutions of tribal systems of the tribal people. This unit concentrates on understanding the tribes, their characteristics, and tribal social systems like a group of tribes, subtribe moiety, phratry, clan, local group of village community, lineage, and family. By the end of this unit, you should be able to describe the social organization and social structure of tribal community. To know the geographical division of tribe in India and understand the various tribal social systems. 1.1 Introduction. Tribal people constitute an important segment of India. It is having the largest tribal population in the world next to Africa. It constitutes 8.6% of total population 2011 census. There are 705 tribal communities, MSW 001, who speak over 150 languages and 225 subsidiary languages. The tribal groups of India belong to various racial, linguistic, cultural and ethnic categories. Each and every tribe has its unique culture, tradition, values, mores and folkways. In India, the diversity of the tribes is very rich in nature from the length and breadth of its region. It is quite interesting to know the social systems because every society or group has a system without which no unit can operate. Each social system has subsystems such as educational system, economic system, religious system and political system. In the same way, the tribal systems speak about its traditional pattern of living as well as its unique features like a group of tribe, subtribe, clan, lineage, family and so on. Therefore, it is necessary to understand the various tribal social systems of our country and related concepts of tribal social systems such as tribe, subtribe moiety, phratry and clan, local group of village community, lineage and family. We will discuss in detail the above aspects later in this chapter. 1.2 Social System, Structure and Organization of TR1BILS. The core of the human life depends on the social life of a person. The social life develops through social interaction and building relationships among the human beings. There are some common characteristics found among the Indian tribes in terms of social life. But there are some local differences found as well. There are 5 factors which form the prevailing conditions of social life among the tribes. They are 1. Natural environment, 2. Population, 3. Human being, 4. Material technology and 5. Social environment. Among these components, the natural environment is basic for all societies. They depend on it for basic needs such as food, clothing, shelter, fuel, etc. The population provides a raw material for well-organized society without which social life cannot exist. The human being is another factor that is responsible for the patterns and ways of the social life. All individuals are supposed to meet the requirements of the group by collective means. Material technology is an indivisible part of social life because it helps in getting natural resources, erecting a shelter, making tools and preparing food. The social environment plays a vital role for social life. A systematic social life occurs in consonance to the surroundings of uncountable other social environments such as social organization, social interaction, social order, its design, cooperation, the economic construction, etc. Therefore, the social life is a combination of whole or a web of varied Social Organizations, Piddington, 1952, cited that the tribal social life is specific in nature as the tribal people have their own ways of life. He mentioned 10 factors of primitive structure and organizations of tribes. They are sex difference, age, kinship, locality, social status, political power, profession, religion and magic, totemism, and volunteer associations. Among these, religion, magic and totemism are special features of tribal life. On the other hand, these people have all interlinked organization, mainly socio-economic, socio-political and religio-economic. Let us understand in detail the social organization and social structure based on view of various authors. Lowy, 1950, stated that the study of social organization deals primarily with the significant grouping of individuals. Man cannot live alone, and he has to meet his basic needs like food and shelter and social needs such as companionship, recreation, religious activities and play. He thus forms a group or association with the help of other men and creates institutions and satisfies his needs. Firth, 1961, opines that all community life involves methods of grouping and grading people for an effective carrying out of the various types of activities demanded by the common existence. According to Redfield, 1955, a social structure is a system. The elements of social structure do not exist independently of one another. Firth, 1961, considers that it must be concerned with the ordered relations of parts to a whole, with the arrangement in which the elements of the social life are linked together. These relations must be regarded as built up one upon another. They are a series of varying orders of complexity. Evans Pritchard, 1940, restricts social structure to the interrelations of groups, explicitly excluding interpersonal relations. Nuttall, 1957, describes social structure in these words: structure indicates an ordered arrangement of parts which can be treated as transposable, being relatively invariant, while the parts themselves are variable. Moreover, Redfield, 1955, finds among the Chancombs 3 kinds of kinship relationship in the village: consanguine, a final and ritual forming a recognizable system. According to Firth, 1961, while dealing with the Tikopia social structure, talks about their division into 2 based on geographical districts, their clan and kinship division, authority in clanhead and wealth division, which are the basic elements in their structure. Like the Tikopia, the tribal social structure of India also has some basic structural elements. Social structure cannot be seen as an isolated web or structure in the social life of a group or community. It embodies some concept of a functional kind, such as exogamy. The exogamy is associated with a clan structure and requiring a clan member shall not marry anyone who is a member of the same clan is said to be one of the distinctive features of structural unit clan. Hence, structural analysis alone cannot interpret social life. The organizational aspect of social life is also very important among the tribal social system. According to Firth, 1961, social organization is the synonym for social structure. However, generally the idea of organization is that of people getting things done by planned action. It is the way things get done over a period of time in the community. The social structure is an important system of elements which lasts and which everybody takes account of. The social structure offers a number of courses of action. Thus, social structure is a definable morphological element. The social anatomy, it is maintained and given its ultimate form by organizational decision. 1.3 Units of tribal social systems after discussing the social structure of the TR1BLS, it is important to explain different constituent social units with the characteristics of the concerned structural unit. An important basis for the existence of a tribe as a social system is a combination of different social systems. The social systems, units, are a number of group of tribes designated by a common name, tribe, subtribe, moiety or dual organization, phratry or territorial groups, clan or local, group or village community, subclan or sublocal group, lineage, family, marriage, and youth dormitory, group of tribes designated by common name. Sometimes tribes are known by their neighboring people and outsiders by a common name. This common name is used in a broad sense to include many other types of tribal communities inhabiting a common territory. For instance, the communities living on the hills might be geographically grouped and known by a common term by the plain dwellers. The different tribes of the group have their own linguistic and cultural traditions. They share many cultural and social customs with their cohorts. At the same time, due to the same geographical habitat of today, they develop some common cultural traditions. The phenomenon of grouping of tribes designated by a common name is a common feature in the northeastern Himalayan region. The expression Naga is a common term to denote Nagaland people. The group of the Nagas includes in itself tribes like the Angami, Ao, Chakhesan, Chung, Khinmungan, Konyak, Ihota, Phom, Rengama, Sangatam, Sama, Yunchang and Ziliang. Elvin cited that the tribal groups of Nagaland are forming new affiliations and using new names like the Cheksenze combination of Chakru, Kheza, both. Southern Angami and Sangatam groups with Turengama villages and Ziliang's mixed group of Zemis, Liangmes in the south. The Manipur Valley roughly marks the point of contact between the Naga tribes and much more closely interrelated groups of the Kuki tribes. Manipur is inhabited by a large number of Kuki tribes which have been split into two broad divisions, namely Old Kukis and New Kukis. The Old Kukis include such tribes as the Amol, Anay, Chote or Chavte Chiru, Kolhan, Kom, Lamgang, Purum, Tikhup, Vaishe and Mahar of Manipur and Rangkhol or Rangkhol and Bayet or Bete of Kachar. The New Kukis are composed of a single tribe called the Thadas who are scattered in Kachar, Assam, Naga Hills, Nagaland and Manipur. Almost allied to them, at least linguistically, are the Pate of Manipur and Ralte of Manipur and Lushai Hills, Mizoram. In Arunachal Pradesh, the people living in the Abaya Hills are known by the name of Abaya. This includes tribes like the Pais, Minyong, Pangi, Padam, etc. In the Middle India, the hillmen of Rajmahal Hills are popularly known as Paharias, hillmen, because they live on the hills. This generic term Pahadia includes three different types of people, namely Saurya Paharias or Malas, Mal or Manar Ferias and Kumar Bhag Paharias. The plains dwellers know them by the famous term Pahadia for all those living on the hills. In western India, the Sahyadri group of tribes includes in itself tribes like Koli, Mahadev, Varli, Kokna, Hakur, Kathodi, Koli Malhar, Koli Dhya, Dubla and Dholia who inhabit Nasik, Ahmednagar, Pune, Pune, Satara, Sholapur and Aurangabad districts of Maharashtra. The Bhils of western and middle India also include a number of tribes like Bhil Meena, Bhil Garasia, Tholi Bhil, Dungari Bhil, Dungari Garasia, Nawasi Bhil, Rawal Bhil, Bhagwalia, Bhilala, Pawara, Vaswa, Barela, Patilia, etc. Tribe, the little community. Generally, tribe itself is the basic social unit for the community. According to George Peter Murdoch, 1949, tribe is a social group in which there are many clans, nomadic band villages or other such groups, which usually have a definite geographical area, a separate language, a singular and distinct culture, and either common political organization or at least a feeling of common determination against strangers. Majumdar, 1961, opines that a tribe is a collection or group of families. He further says that a tribe is ordinarily an endogamous unit, the members of which confine their marriages within the tribe. Several clans constitute a tribe, and each clan claims kinship among its members belonging to it, based either on totemic division, territorial congruity or common residence. Official definition of tribe. The official definition of scheduled tribe keeps in its view the country's historical experience and tribe-caste relations. Article 366(25) of the Constitution of India has defined scheduled tribes as such tribes or tribal communities or parts or groups within such tribes or tribal communities as are deemed under Article 342 to be scheduled tribes for the purpose of this Constitution. By the Scheduled Tribes Order, 1950, issued by the President, in exercise of the powers conferred by Clause 1 of Article 232 of the Constitution of the India, 312 tribes have been declared to be scheduled tribes. Later, by an Act of Parliament, some other groups were also included in the schedule. Jain, 2001. Characteristic of a tribe. Some of the important characteristics of tribal community mentioned by Jain, 2000, are: tribal people live within a definite topography. They possess a sense of unity in a particular area. They are endogamous in nature. They have common dialect to speak. They are tied with blood relationship, which is a powerful bond among them. They have a common system of offering prayers to God. They always need protection from intrusion and infiltration. Every tribe has its own distinct political organization. They have common culture to produce a sense of homogeneity among themselves. The tribe itself is the basic social system. The small community like a tribe is a very predominant form of human living. According to Robert Redfield, 1955, the development of systematic investigation of human life in the small community has come to provide a commonly recognized unit of subject matter. He puts forward 4 qualities for the small community. They are distinctiveness, smallness, homogeneity and self-sufficiency. The distinctiveness is apparent to the observer and is expressed in the consciousness of the people of the community. The smallness is a compact community with a small population which provides in some part of it a unit of personal observation fully representative of the whole. The homogeneity refers to the activities and states of mind are much like for all persons. And the career of one generation repeats that of the preceding and finally its characteristics exists. The self-sufficiency denotes that where the community is self-sufficient and provides for all or most of the activities and needs of its people. All these characteristics are realized to a great extent in particular groups and villages of rural and tribal India. Subtribe. A tribe is divided into a few groups depending on the economy, ecology, and isolation. Initially, people of the group are of the same cultural traditions. They eke out their livelihood that separates them from the others even today. The geographically isolated habitation also leads to a subgroup in the real unity of the tribe. Vidyarthi and B.K. Rai, 1976, stated that in the Himalayan region, the Rengmas of Nagaland are divided into 2 groups based on their geographical isolation, namely Eastern Rengmas and Western Rengmas. The Jonsaris of Dehradun in central Himalaya have divided themselves into different castes like Brahman, Rajputs, Koltas, etc., based on the status as well as the economy. In central India, the Birhors have 2 subgroups, namely Janghi and Wulthu based on their habitation pattern. The former leads a somewhat settled life whereas the latter leads a nomadic life. The ecology and economy keep them moving. The Kharyas of Chotnagpur are divided into three subtribes, namely Hill Kharya, Doodh Kharya and Dhelki Kharya. The division in their case is based on their habitation. Bose, 1929, opined that the Korwas of Palamu have two sections, namely Hill Korwas and Plain Korwas. These separations are due to the geographical isolation. Even the Bhuyas are divided into two subtribes, Pauri, Hill Bhuyas and Desh, Plain Bhuyas. The Khons of Odisha have a number of subtribes like Kutia Khons, Dongaria Khons, Desaya Khons, Tikiriya Khons, Yanati Khons, etc., which are an example of territorial division. The Koyas have subtribes like Rajairasha Koyas, Lingadhari Koyas, Koti Koyas, etc. The Savaras include the Kapu Savara, Malya Savara or Khutto Savara. The Jwangs of Odisha have two subdivisions, the Thaniya, those who dwell in their original home, and the Bhagudiya are those who left their original home. From these classifications we come to know that some division of sub-tribes in India exists. Moieties are called half-tribes. When a tribe is socially divided into only two groups based on its social activities, each group is called moiety. This organization is known as a dual organization. The main activities of these two groups of the community regulate the social behavior and acts of the people. Lowy, 1950, describes a number of attributes of a moiety. Moiety may be exogamous, agamous or more rarely endogamous. Agamy may mean that one's exogamous dual organization has relaxed the rule on prevention of marriage within the group. However, it may also mean that for some reason, the same kinship has never been extended nor fully extended to the moiety. The exogamous dual organization varies from a multiple clan system. When the group is divided into two parts in terms of the rule of descent, the moiety affiliation of all its relation can be reduced. But there are more than two clans or exogamous clan-like groups. The relative affiliations are not traceable or are only partly determined. Any dichotomy in the two halves of the tribe may prove a practical complete division of the tribe. They occupy two different parts of the village, one in the south Tol and the other in the north. These two groups of the tribe will clearly reflect their political and mutual behavior. They wear different clothes and one of the moieties socially ranks higher than the other. The dual organization is frequently asymmetrical in division. Ehrenfels, 1950, expressed that such reciprocal groups usually look upon each other in a mixture of aggressive pride and dependent comradeship at the same time, thus producing a marked sense of rivalry. The stressed reciprocity of all these groupings seems to have rooted in the idea of magic fertility, since warfare between the two marriages classes play a similar role as human sacrifice or headhunting in the lunar mythological fertility rites. One of the two parties in a genuine dual system is often found to be either more skilled, powerful, numerous or somehow superior. According to Lowy, 1950, exogamy readily disappears and readily develops. Further, he says that agamy naturally develops as a sequel to exogamy in a dual organization. Firstly, a prosperous moiety grows so large that its members lose a sense of kinship or find it greatly weakened. Secondly, the usual difficulty of finding mates also leads to agamy. It was observed that the moieties, exogamous or otherwise, commonly comprise lesser clans. It is also possible that multiple clans may combine into two large groups. Or some may die out leaving only two. Such local names of the moieties meaning, thereby 4 clans and 3 clans indicate in themselves an alliance of the clans. We find all established moieties among the Ao Nagas, Rengama Nagas and Angami Nagas in the northeastern Himalayan region. It shows that the moieties are not fixed in such system. The Aos are divided into 2 main divisions, namely Mongsin and Changali. These 2 divisions have different pattern and design of clothes in order to differentiate themselves. Changals eat all kinds of food, whereas Mongsins refrain customarily from polluted food. They do not eat the stomach of a pig. The hairstyles of these 2 divisions also differ. According to Mills, 1951, the Rengama Nagas have divided themselves into 2 territorial divisions, namely Eastern Rengmas and Western Rengmas. The Western Rengmas have 2 groups of clans, whereas the Eastern Rengmas have no such clan. Loi, 1950, viewed that among the Angami Nagas there are 2 divisions of clans, namely Pezoma and Pepfuma. These 2 divisions, once intermarrying moieties, but for some time the taboos has been observed only within the lesser subdivision. For instance, the inhabitants of Kohima are all Pepfuma, but they freely intermarry unless of the same clan. According Srinivas, 1953, in the central Himalayan region, the Tharus seem to have evolved a dichotomous organization of their own community into 2 sections, namely higher and the lower. The higher section has within itself a number of endogamous kuris. Those kuris are a Batha, Bartia, Dahet, Badwet and Mahtum. These 5 kuris form a new endogamous group and call themselves Rana Thakur. The lower moiety, which is in a minority, has certainly welcomed the name of Thakur for their group of 7 sections. They place themselves a little lower than the Ran Thakur. Seen the social orders, there are 2 branches of Mundas in Middle India as older and younger Mundas. They are Mahili Mundako or Patar and Kampat Mundako. These 2 are endogamous in nature, and the Mahili Mundako is inferior to the Kampat Mundako socially. The Saurus of Ganjam in Odisha are divided into 2 moieties, namely aristocrats and ryots. Sarora aristocrats have their secular head commands assisted by Dolbehra as well as Mandal and the religious head Baya. They are endogamous groups. The Gonds of Madhya Pradesh have a type of dual organization among its member tribes, that is Hill Marias. Each moiety is composed of a number of clans. There are 90 clans in one moiety, whereas in the other there are 69 clans. The Ands of Andhra Pradesh, moieties of South India, are divided into 2 divisions, namely Vartati, pure, and Khaltati, illegitimate. The Vartati division, considered more superior than the Khaltati. They do not intermarry within themselves. They follow exogamous marriage practice within themselves. The Todas of Nilgiri in Tamil Nadu give a classic example of moiety. They have 2 primary divisions of Tharthazol and Theviliol. These divisions are endogamous in nature, and each is again subdivided into a number of exogamous clans. The Tharthazol moiety shares as many as 10 clans, namely Inikithi, Karsh, Karhir, Keridar, Medar, Melgash, Nedi, Norsh, Pargotal and Tharad among the existing clans. The Theviliol division has only 6 clans, namely Angad, Koit, Konigore, Marthaiktar, Pet and Pargot. 2. Fratry, a tribe or subtribe, is divided into number of clans that are further grouped into 3 or more groups or cluster of clans in order to maintain their individuality on a higher order to form a fratry. In other words, a few clans unite to form a group called fratry. According to Lowy, 1950, Morgan, who conveniently applied the fratry to a group of 2 or more clans united for certain common objective. Further, he pointed out that fratry is evidently nothing but a convenient term for a kin linkage. According to Majumdar and Madan, 1956, when a group of clans merge together for some reasons or the other, the emergent grouping is called fratry. Fratry is more common in tribal India among the northeastern Himalayan tribes and a few tribes of Middle India in the northwestern and central Himalayas, and in Middle India social class and territorial grouping of the tribe as its subdivision are common. The Kukis and Hamars have two sections of fratry, namely rank holes and Baetas. The Rabhas of Assam have bars as their clan. Two or more bars might unite to form a fratryhood. Among the Ao Nagas, Thechangali moiety has a number of fratries, namely Pienjan, Lungakan, Chami, etc. The western Ringama Nagas are divided into 6 exogamous groups, each containing a number of clans. In Middle India, the Rajgons have 4 fratries such as Yervain, Saga, Sarvain, Saga, Sivan Saga and Nalvin Saga. These fratries are exogamous groups. Local group of village community. The local group is a distinct social system or unit. It comprises of number of families who are living in a common settlement, tola or village. They perform certain ceremonies, functions for their common welfare. Moreover, this local group proves to be a bigger unit than the family itself. They are helping hands for one another. In the tribal communities, the tribal village serves as an economic, social and religious unit. On all the occasion, the whole settlement is formed of one or more than one clan or lineage. However, the whole settlement is bound by a common link of co-villagers. Among the TR1BLs, the thought of village exogamy is the outcome of a brotherhood feeling. Overall, atmosphere of the village community is democratic in nature and all the members practice quality in working. The local group is a permanent unit for those who live in settled villages, while it is a temporary unit for the wanderers like the Birhors. They play a vital role in the social and economic life. On the other hand, there is a high degree of social and economic cooperation within the group. The cooperation of the people is more mutual. The villagers in their economic life help each other, such as preparing a cultivable field and construction of house. In these activities, Malis of Bihar or the Ao Nagas of Nagaland show much cooperation and unity. There is definite system of rights and obligation followed among the tribes in the villages or settlement level, especially in religious ceremonies. Clan, tribal group is divided into clans. The clan is an important part of tribal social system. Majumdar and Madan, 1956, have considered the Sibs as clans, and according to them, it is often the combination of a few lineages and descent. It is ultimately traced to a mythical ancestor who may be human, human-like, animal, plant or even inanimate. According to Vidyarthi, 1976, clan can be defined as an exogamous division of a tribe, the members of which are held to be related to one another by some common ties, may be belief in descent from common ancestor, possession of a common totem or habitation of a common territory. A clan is constituted by including all the relatives of either her mother's or the father's lineage and all the offsprings of ancestors in such a lineage. In such a manner, many lineages constitute a clan. We may categorize the clan into some common empirical combinations based on the study of clan organization of the tribes of India and the construction of typology of clans. Primarily, among the Indian tribes' clan organization, it is found that in almost all the tribal groups and the majority of the groups are based on its totemic principle. As regards to totemic principle, the totem occurs in wide areas of the tribal society. Secondarily, we have a clan like the Gotra of the Hindu society, and the people claim their ancestry in some rishis. Thirdly, group of CTRBS who have no clan organization take the help of territorial or distant descendants and relatives or local groups in marital alliances. Therefore, based on these three classifications, most of the Indian tribe clan organizations are classified into three groups, namely totemic clan, clan based on rishis or saints, and local groups based on generation or territory. The totemic clan is associated with a definite group of individuals set in certain relation to an animal, a plant, an object, animate or inanimate. After that, they are named, and in connection the view prevails that the members of this group cannot establish marital ties among them, and the object after which the group is named must be respected. This type of clan organization are found in tribe like Santal Bhil, Gond, Orao, Munda or small as the Birhor and Chenchu. Another form of clan which exists is reported from many tribes named after rishis or saints. For instance, the Gonds have named their clans after mythological saints, namely Bashitha, Kashyap and Dadhichi. They have divided themselves into social clans and trace their ancestry from any rishi of the Hindu society. There are few exceptions of clan organization on tribal India level. They are Malis of Rajmahal in Santhal Pargana, the Kadars of Cochin, and Andamanis of Andaman and Nicobar Islands. These groups function almost like clan groups. So these are functionally established clans or local groups. But they regulate their marital ties on generational or territorial grouping by forming a local group. In all India level, another classification of clan made on the basis of their combination and subdivision. They are in monometric, dimetric, triadic or more and subclan forms of structure. They are modeled as follows: A. Tribe divided into numerous clans which may be called monometric in structure. B. Clans grouped mainly into two groups which may be called dimetric in structure or conventionally called moiety. C. Clans of a tribe grouped into three or more groups which may be called triadic phratry. D. Clan itself is divided into a number of subclans. Firstly, among many tribes the monometric structure of a clan is found in India. It is found in Munda tribe wherein 64 clans are present. Secondly, the dimetric structure of clan is called moiety conventionally, or combination of clans into two groups, found in many tribes. It is found in Toda of Nilgiri tribe. They have two endogamous groups such as Tharthazol and Thevilur. They consist of 12 and 6 clans respectively. Thirdly, the phratry structure is composed of 3 or more groups formed by combining a number of clans. The Raj Gonds of Satpura have divided themselves into 4 groups and further divided into many clans. The clans of the Hos and the Kilis are divided into subclans. For instance, the Parti clan is divided into 7 clans. These split up of clans may or may not allow marriages between one section and another. This splitting up of clans into sub-clans is either due to their migration or adoption of new cultural traits. Further, the clan can be observed on the basis of their extension and expansion. It can be enumerated as conical clan, dispersed clan, territorial clan, and local, cognatic descent groups which function as clan. The conical clan presents a conical form of descent group. The descendants claim themselves to come from a common real, mythical or imaginary ancestor. In matrilineal communities, the common tie lies in the female ancestor, whereas common male ancestor exists in the patrilineal communities. The third type of conical clan is bilineal, based on double descent. Therefore, The three types of conical clan are matrilineal conical clan, patrilineal conical clan, and bilineal conical clan. The matrilineal conical clan is scattered among the tribes like the Jayantiya, where all members of a Kur clan always claim descent from a common ancestress. The patrilineal conical clan existed among many Middle India tribes, and the descent calculated from the father's line. The Dimasa Kacharis have the bilineal conical clan, in which the male child gets the clanship of the father and the female child gets from the mother's clan. The conical clan has the matrix of unilateral grouping, which in due course combines itself with a few lineages to form a clan, namely a number of lineages in the Bhunjias of Odisha from Baraj clan. In almost all the tribes, the dispersed clan is found as the most famous and extensive form of clan. In this type also, the clan members claim a common ancestor and a common link on either matrilineal or patrilineal line, of which they are really dispersed. They lose their visible or traceable coordination. This type of clans are scattered over vast areas and in different locales, and sometimes they give rise to another type of clan based on territory. Gonds are such case, and they are distributed in vast areas and in due course borne the territorial names like Chhattisgarhi and Chhindwara. The territorial clan claims and defends a definite territory within which most of the clan men of the group reside and make up the core. The Nagas of Nagaland have clans with their typical local groups, khals, which are territorial in nature. The Kamars of Chhattisgarh have territorial groups such as Mehendiya, Jaunpira, Surguzia and Bastarha. This kind of clan is also found in the Chenchus of Andhra Pradesh and Adiya of Kerala tribes. The local cognatic descent groups are usually internally grouped and ranked by the number of generations. They are neither exogamous nor endogamous. Each descent group forms a network of their kinsmen. This local group consists of the descendants of a given ancestral pair. Lineage is a group of families having a common ancestor. According to Evan Pritchard, 1940, lineage is a group of agnates descended from the founder of a particular line. Logically, it includes dead persons descended from the founder in order to know their genealogical position and to identify the living. He further suggests 4 stages of lineage segmentation based on their size, position in the segmentary system and functions. They are maximal lineage, major lineage, minor lineage and minimal lineage. The minimal lineage is the smallest unit and has a time depth of 3 to 5 generations. Majumdar, 1962, discusses the lineage system as an extension of the joint family system in its wide scope. He further extended Evans Pritchard's 4-stage lineage to 6. They are intervillage, village, lineage group, lineage, sublineage, and family respectively. According to Lowry, 1950, the lineage is made up exclusively of provable blood relatives, which denote all members who are demonstrably descended from a common ancestor or ancestress. Firth, 1956, cited that a lineage, meaning primarily a line of descent, is now taken also to mean a unilineal descent group, all members of which trace their genealogical relationship back to founding ancestor. If the lineage system is patrilineal, organotic, the members consist of men, their children and their sisters, and they, the members, trace their descent through male, normally to an original male ancestor. If the system is matrilineal, the members consist of women, their children and their brothers, tracing descent through female, normally to an original ancestress. He further says that groups of lineage type usually tend to form subgroups by division in what has been called segmentation, fission, ramification or branching. In regard to this branching process, lineage groups have been termed as ramits, a name linked with the metaphor which some of these systems use that grow like branches of a tree. In Sanskrit, the term Vanshvriksha is equal to lineage tree, which itself explains that it's grown like a tree. According to Karve, 1953, there are two terms, namely Kula and Vansh. A Kula was a localized great family. It was supposed to be necessary for a man to be able to name his father, mother and Kula, and one who could name his Kula was a Kulina, which has come to mean well-born. She again describes that Vansa is a line of patrilineal descent. Kula is a pratrikin based on locality. The Vansa and Kula were patronymic derived from the name of some famous ancestors, among whom a new hero arose and gave his name to his own descendants. Moreover, Nath, 1960, says the Bhils of western India are from few villages. The population consists of a single lineage group with a depth and extension of up to 5 or 6 generations. Among the Mundas and the Orons of Bihar, the people are of a number of lineages, Khunt, like the Pehen Munda Khunt, or Mahto Khunt, who live together. Roy, 1915, views that the original settlers, Guinhars, of an Orao village split into 2 or 3 Khuntas. The Khunt is the sacerdotal head, Pehen, and the temporal headman or headman, Munda, or Mahto, or both. He further states that the lineage groups are again classified into 2 types based on the phase of settling of their members in a village, namely, the lineages of original settlers, the dominant lineage, and the lineages of later comers or tenants, the subordinate lineage. In the villages of the Mundas, Orons and Bhils, one finds a dominant lineage group claiming descent from the original founders of the village and, therefore, the ownership of the entire village. On the other hand, the lineage groups in the village are the descendants of those people who, in the distant past, were permitted or invited to settle in the village by the elders of the dominant lineage. The original founders possess the most fertile bits of land in big holdings. They have some reserved pastures for their cattle. The dominant lineage is mostly concentrated and exercised as the authority in the village's family. Family is the primary social group. It has its own functions and forms in different communities. According to Radcliffe Brown, 1941, family includes a husband and wife with their child or children. Lowy, 1950, defines family as a trait that at once distinguishes it from lineages and kins. The death of husband-wife destroys the family. The marriage of a son or daughter alters its constitution. Everywhere human beings live in households. Most of the tribes live in ideal household in which 2 or more married couples and their children live together. Men and women take collective responsibility in order to take care of their offspring as well as take collective responsibility in the physical proximity of their living arrangements. Therefore, a household is the residential form of family. The distribution of household types across different tribes will give forms to the family. According to George Peter Murdoch, 1949, the family is a social group characterized by common residence, economic cooperation, and reproduction. It includes adults of both genders, at least 2 of whom maintain a socially approved sexual relationship, and 1 or more children, own or adopted, of the sexually inhabiting adults. As regards the importance of family, the ethnographer visits a family in its physical or residential form, that is the household, and stated that the family is an ethno-scientifically derived construct and can be mapped onto the criteria of descent, affinity and consanguinity. Butchler Selby, 1968, further stated that the family is the minimum social unit such as cooperates in production and distribution, is so age-graded as to allocate responsibility for the education and safety of children to the senior age grades and is engaged in exchange of women with other like units. The term household should be carefully understood in the context of family whose shape is derived culturally. The important characteristics of family are that a family is the fundamental, instrumental foundation of the larger social design. Some version of family as a type of social organization exists everywhere. Participation in family activities by all the individual members is its quality. Every one member of family is duty-bound to assume a direct role or responsibility in family. Family acts as a source of force on an individual to adjust to work or with the need. Family is a functional unit for all such purposes as reproduction, socialization, social control, social order, economy and so on. Let us discuss some of the family forms in regional basis. In northwestern Himalaya, the families of Gujars who are mostly Muslims, of the Gaddis who are Hindus, and of the Pangwals of Jammu Kashmir and Himachal Pradesh are patrilineal. The Khasas of Uttar Pradesh practice polyandry and are of the patrilineal type. In northeastern Himalaya, the Garos and the Khasis are matrilineal people. They get the motherhood and claim descent from a common ancestress or mother. Among the Mikirs, children belong to the father's Kur clan and the sons inherit the property. They are generally monogamous but persons in power can adopt. The Mizos are patriarchal in nature and according to their customary law the youngest son inherits the property. The Dashama Kacharis practice the rule of double descent, that is, son descends on the father line and the daughter on the mother line. The major tribes like the Santal, Munda, Orao, Ho, Gond, Bhil, Kol, Kharia, and Bhumiji are all partilocal, patrilineal, patriarchal and partinimic. They are also monogamous in general with nuclear family. At the same time, joint and extended families are prevalent among them. The minor tribes like the Birhor, Korwa and Parhia also follow the same as the major tribes structure. In Odisha, the major tribes like the Khand and Savara believe in patriarchal type of family. The tribal families in western India are also patriarchal in nature. The Bhils, the most famous tribe, practice more or less complete Hindu law of inheritance and succession with father as the priest or the supreme. The family among the Minas, Mahadev Kolis, Warlis, Cockneys, Thakurs, Kotodis, Koli Malhars, Koli, Ghais, Dublas, Gamets are patriarchal in character. We can find both patriarchal and matriarchal family forms in South India tribes. The Kurichian, Kundu Vedians and Malyurs are matrilineal. It is also found that many tribes have no clear rule of inheritance in terms of property. There are some tribes with intermixture of patriarchy and matriarchy. Kadars, Irulas, Puliayans are in the mixture of both the above-mentioned category. However, the Nicobaris by rule are in patriarchy and after marriage, the two parties reach a decision in this regard after considering the number of members in each family. If the girl's family members are less in number and the boy decides with the consent of elders to reside with the girls and loses his share in his family property and acquires a full share in the girl's family. 1.4 Patterns of tribal social systems. The social nature of the Trvanbiales are living together in a group and effectively carrying out the various activities for common existence by sharing in common activities under the bonds of relationship. Each tribe has their own structure and organization. They form a small community of their own. In particular territory, their relations are direct and intimate. According to T.C. Das, 1953, tribal organization in India reveals 7 types. They are classified on the basis of the difference in the types of spheres or units. They are as follows: 1. Family local group tribe. 2. Families clans tribe. 3. Families motis tribe. 4. Families clans fratres tribe. 5. Families clans fratres moitis tribe. 6. Families clans subtribe tribe. And 7. Families subclans orthogamous clans or selected clans tribe. But Dubey, 1971, opines that in India, tribal design consists of family, then clan, fratry, and finally tribe. The minimum sphere for an Indian tribal design will include in itself 4 spheres, i.e. individual forming families, families forming clan or local group, and clans forming the tribe. No attempt is made in order to know the tribal design in context to their specific social life in India. A broad typology of the tribal design from a single person, individual, family, clan or local group, and tribe might be evolved in different forms in its ascending order. The smallest unit is the individual who forms the minimum or the smallest group like family or household. These smaller groups are combined into a larger one through several levels of incorporation. The total understanding might be drawn something like this: a number of individuals are joined in families or households, families in lineages, lineages in subclans or sublocal groups, subclans or village or local groups, clans in fratries or territorial groups, fratries in moieties, moieties in subtribes, and finally subtribes making up the tribe. On the other hand, an arbitrary or generic term is used to denote a group of tribes living in a certain territory. All the tribes occupying the same geographic region are called by outsiders by the same common term. The majority of the tribes of India fall into these minimum categories, i.e. individual families clans tribe. The concentration of tribes found in 4 major geographical areas or zones. They are the North-Northeastern Zone, the Central Zone, the Western Zone, the Southern Zone, and the tribes of Andaman, Nicobar, and Lakshadweep Islands. North-Northeastern Zone. This zone includes Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Manipur, Nagaland, Tripura, and the Himalayan belt of Himachal Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh, besides Darjeeling district of West Bengal. The tribes of this zone belong to the Mongoloid race. The tribes like the Naga, the Garo, the Khasi, the Lapcha, the Bhutia, the Lashis are living in this zone. Traditionally, they are shift cultivators, especially Naga tribes. They weave their own cloth while they grow cotton along with rice and millet. They also trade in wool, salt, sugar and other merchandise in India and Tibet. Central Zone. This zone includes the states of West Bengal, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, North and Central Gujarat, Maharashtra and Odisha. The maximum concentrations of TR1BLS found in these regions are the Khand, the Bhumiji, the Bhuya, the Munda, the Orao, the Ho and Birhor, and the Kol and the Bhil. Their main occupation is shift cultivation, hunting, and food gathering. Western Zone. The Western Zone includes Western Maharashtra, Rajasthan, Gujarat, Dadra, and Nagar Haveli and Goa, Daman Diu. This zone has its own important tribes, which include the Dubla, the Bhil and the Varli, the Dhodia, the Bharia, and the Meena. Except for the tribes like the Bhil and the Varli who live in isolation, rest of them live in villages along with non-tribal population. Their main occupation is shift cultivation, hunting and weaving. Southern Zone. The tribes in this zone belong to most primitive and backward among the tribes of India. Generally, the tribes live in this area are small. Tamil literature of Sangam period has a reference that they are the earliest inhabitants living in India. They have common characteristics in general and live in separate geographical areas. In this zone, the tribes live in different geographical areas within Southern Zone. They are tribes of erstwhile Travancore and Cochin states, tribes of Wayanad, the tribes of South Kanara and Coorg Hills, the tribes of the Deccan region of Andhra Pradesh, the tribes of the Agency of Andhra Pradesh and the tribes of the Nilgiris, tribes of erstwhile Travancore and Cochin states. The tribes live in the forests and hill ranges of the Western Ghats. They are the most primitive tribes of India. The main tribes are the Kadar, the Kanikkar, the Malai Pandaram, the Muduvan, the Manan and the Ulladan. They are mostly food gatherers, hunters and shift cultivators. Some of them also work as laborers in coffee and rubber estates. They are still depending upon forests for their survival. Tribes of Wayanad. The Wayanad is a part of Nilgiris Plateau. The eastern half of the Wayanad is spread to the Nilgiris and Coorg and is inhabited by the Kanaris-speaking tribes. The western half is inhabited by the Malayalam-speaking tribes. The Kuricha is one of the most important tribes of this area. They have their own land and their main occupation is agriculture. They follow a very rigid, matrilineal system. They divide their territory into several nads and there is a headman for each nad. The headman of each nad along with council of elders settles community dispute. They are very orthodox in customs and traditions. For example, they do not take food touched by other castes or tribes. The Kurumbas of this area are divided into two groups. They are the Mulla Kurumba and the Urli Kurumba. Their main occupation is agriculture. They practice both wet paddy cultivation and shifting cultivation on the hill slopes. The Urli Kurumba Trvanbiales are artisan and usually they are skilled blacksmiths, carpenters, potters and basket makers, the tribes of South Kanara and Coorg Hills. This area is located in Mysore state. The tribes of this area are the Yerva, the Koraga, the Sholga, the Marathi, the Kurumba, the Kuruman, the Kudiaur, Melkudi, the Palya and the Mida. Their main occupation is shifting, cultivation along with hunting and food gathering. They speak a language of both Tulu and Kanarisi. Most of them now are basket makers and agricultural laborers, the tribes of the Deccan region of Andhra Pradesh. These area tribes are the And, the Chenchu, the Gond, the Naipod and the Rajgond, the Kolam, the Pardhan, the Yerukula and the Sugli. These tribes inhabit the Nallamalai hills across the Krishna river. They are food-gathering tribes. They are living in the hilly tracts of Nellore, Guntur, Krishna and Chittur districts of Andhra Pradesh, the tribes of the agency areas of Andhra Pradesh, the forest and mountain ranges straits of the East Godavari and Vishakhapatnam districts of Andhra Pradesh are declared as scheduled tribes areas of the state. In this territory about 20 tribes are living. They speak Dravidian or Mundari dialects. These tribes have a better level of economic and technological development than other tribes of Indian Peninsular. Some of the important tribes belonging to these areas are the Kond, the Koya and the Kondareddy. The Savara are found in Vishakhapatnam in the neighboring areas of Odisha. They are good in cultivation of rice. The Garba tribe belongs to the Mundari branch. Their main occupation is agriculture and also supplements their food by hunting and fishing. The Garba women devote to weaving and dyeing of cloth. The Code Trvanbiales are one of the largest Dravidian-speaking tribes. They practiced human sacrifice for conducting agricultural and war rituals. Tribes of the Nilgiris, the Badhega, the Kota and the Toda are the tribes belonging to this area. They are very less in number. This region has been attracted for research by social workers than most of the other tribes of India due to the rituals concerning sacredness, their sex, marriage regulations such as fraternal polyandry. These are the factors attracted by the research scholars in that area. Their main occupation is herdmen, blacksmiths, carpenters and potters. They also act as a professional musician for the tribes of this area. The Badega, on the other hand, is a tribe engaged in agricultural works. At present, they are no more treated as scheduled tribes in Tamil Nadu because they have achieved a high level of development with the local population. The tribes of Andaman, Nicobar and Lakshadweep Islands, apart from the above discussed tribes, a few other tribes are also found in Andaman, Nicobar and Lakshadweep Islands. These tribes are Onge of the Little Andaman, the Jarwa of South Andaman and the Sentinelese of North Sentinel Island. They are considered among the most primitive tribes. There are more than 530, with many overlapping types in more than one state, as per notified schedule under Article 342 of the Constitution of India in different states and union territories of the country, with the largest number of 62 being in the state of Odisha, 1.5 let US some UP. To conclude, the tribal social system gives an idea of the people living in an organized society. They have a definite geographical area, a separate language or dialect and distinct culture, and have at least a common feeling of determination against strangers. The social organization and structure of the tribe projects the whole picture of the tribes in India. Tribe is a group of people of the same race and the same customs, language, religion and living in a particular area and often led by chief. The subtribe is divided into a few groups depending on the economy, ecology and isolation. These divisions are due to geographical isolation. Moieties are known as half-tribes, and if a tribe is socially separated into only two groups based on the social activities, and that each group is called moiety. This organization is also called dual organization. The moieties are endogamous in nature, and each tribe is again subdivided into a number of exogamous clans. A tribe or subtribe is divided into number of clans that are further grouped into 3 or more groups or cluster of clans in order to maintain their individuality on a higher order to form a phratry. It is more common in tribal India among the northeastern Himalayan tribes and a few tribes of Middle India. The local group is a distinct system. It comprises of number of families who are living in a common settlement, tola or village. It is a permanent unit of those who live in settled villages. They play a vital role in social and economic life. The clan is an important part of tribal social system. It is defined as an exogamous division of a tribe, the members of which are held to be related to one another by some common ties, may be belief in descent from common ancestor, possession of a common totem or habitation of a common territory. Clan can be observed on the basis of their extension and expansion. It can be calculated as conical clan, dispersed clan, territorial clan and local cognatic descent groups which functions as clan. Lineage is group of families having a common ancestor. It is enumerated in terms of matrilineal and patrilineal lineages descent groups. In some cases, lineage groups are classified into two types based on the phase of settling of their members in a village, namely the lineages of original settler, the dominant lineage, and the lineages of later comers or tenants. Subordinate lineage. Family is the primary institution which has its own functions and forms in different communities. In tribal families, both men and women take collective responsibility in order to take care of their offspring as well as take collective responsibility in the physical proximity of their living arrangements. There are different forms of family, but the forms can be categorized on 3 ways, namely on its condition, on its marital ties and on its compositional types. Patterns of tribal social systems discusses about the 7 types of tribes classified by Das. Further, it tells about the various zonal dimensions of tribe, such as North, Northeastern, Central, Western, Southern, and the tribes of Andaman, Nicobar, and Lakshadweep Islands. Thus, we have discussed in detail the tribal social systems. Thank you for watching. We will see you in the next video with next chapter.